Hello and welcome. This is Groblica, which is approximately 10 kilometers to the southeast of Wrocław. It's very close to the campsite where I spend a fair bit of time. This is the final dike between us and the water, and the River Odra is approximately 2 kilometers straight up here, but it is expected, the water is expected to actually reach this dike but not to actually go through it. Now, a little bit of information: when a dike breaks, what happens is that the water gets under it. It isn't that it goes over the top, but the water, the dike itself, the structure is compromised by water seeping into it, and that then creates the destruction of the dike itself. Now, one way to stop this happening is to build these it looks a bit like metal crates, cages even, and they're filled with rocks, and they're placed within the dike itself when it's under construction, and that forms a base. And that's a technology that's been in existence for 4,000 years, but it works. You often see them exposed, for example, on mountain tracks above all, and sometimes near rivers as well. I've pointed one or two out in videos that I have done. Now, at 11 o'clock yesterday morning, it was actually forbidden to actually go onto the dikes themselves. I did a video yesterday afternoon, so I was on the dike, but then when I found out, obviously I stopped actually traveling on it. I've noticed though I had to restart this video now 6 times because people going onto the dike itself, ignoring the rules. Now, one of the problems here though, I've noticed, this is the area beyond the dike, and the ground here is very, very wet despite 2 days of sunshine. And you can see the road is just down here, 300 meters down there, car going past now. So I am concerned enough about this to have actually stayed here. Rather than I was due to go to Warsaw, but I stayed here. I thought this was the place to be for the moment, and in order to well, certainly evacuate my vehicle if it came to it, and as well as some of my stuff as well, but also to assist with the evacuation. Now, at the campsite, we've actually offered to accommodate anybody's vehicles should it be necessary, because we are theoretically it's much less likely that we'll be flooded than will be Szczecnica, which is a town approximately 1.5 kilometers to the north of here. So that's an offer we put on the internet yesterday, so people, if they want to leave their cars with us, and we also have emergency accommodation as well, but not all that much, but there's a bit of emergency accommodation should it come to it. There is a risk that we could also get flooded, but I think the risk is comparatively low. We haven't made any effort to evacuate anything. I've noticed as well that many of the people I've speaking to a gentleman yesterday who lived in the potential flood zone, and he was doing nothing to evacuate. So that's the news from me out here. It's really horrendous scenes from some places in the south of this province. This is Lower Silesia. Wrocław is the provincial capital, and the south of this province, in the border areas with Czechia, where towns are underwater, quite literally 2 meters of water in the high street of one town. Just to the south here, 10 kilometers, is a town called Oława, and Oława has been large parts of that have evacuated. There's somebody at the campsite. He came to help with evacuating cars. There's a museum of old vehicles, and he came to help them move their stuff out. I noticed that the dog shelter as well, they asked for people to take all the dogs out before a certain time, although they're located quite close to the river. So this may well be the calm before the storm, because it's a lovely hot day, ideal temperature, 25 degrees in September, absolutely superb. And without in the summer when you get it, it's really hot every single day, it's unpleasant, but this is very, very nice. Okay, so there's an example of what it's like. I don't know how deep that water is. Well, I can see from one of the bottles that's been thrown into it that it's not, it's a few centimeters deep, but normally there's no water at all here. Well, at least if there is, I've never noticed it. I noticed it was very damp underfoot. There you see water over there as well. So despite the second hot day, the grass and vegetation very, very wet. Anyway, there you go, there's the news from Lower Silesia. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.